So Douglas Murray has reacted to the sensational, shocking killing, elimination of Ismail Haniyeh, chief leader of terrorist neo-Nazi organization Hamas. And I want to read to you his words because they're really important analysis of what's just happened. The tagline is that leaders in London and Washington don't like Jerusalem's tactics, and they say it's an escalation and all these things, which is so ridiculous. These are evil people that Israel has a duty to get rid of after they've done what they've done. Even before that, just the fact they wanted to do that is justification to get rid of them. But Douglas says Tehran's losses are the West's game. So this is what he says in the Telegraph. In the months since October 7th, many have asked how this war might end. Many have pointed to the Israeli government's stated objectives of getting back the hostages that Hamas kidnapped, and also destroying Hamas in its entirety. Some have enjoyed pointing out that these two aims seem to be mutually contradictory. I've consistently had a different answer. The war will be over when Israel has reasserted its intelligence and military deterrence capabilities against its enemies. That is what Israel is now doing. There is little purpose in destroying Hamas in Gaza if the far better armed and trained armies of Hezbollah continue to operate from southern Lebanon. This war started not just with the unparalleled savagery of Hamas's attacks, but because Israel's defense and deterrence capabilities failed. Many Israeli civilians, and not just those who suffered most in the area of the Gaza border, were stunned that such an attack could take place. After years of hearing about the unprecedented intelligence and security advantage Israel has against its enemies, the Israeli public and those who wished them harm believed it. Popular films and television shows bolstered this image. The Israeli-made show Fauda, for instance, shows plenty of nuance and complexity. But the Israelis always win out in the end. The eyes in the sky and other technology proved reassuring for viewers. Quite how the security system was able to be broken down on October 7th will be a matter for the Commission of Inquiry once the war is over. What matters as much as that is for Israel to be able to reassert the deterrent capabilities it was believed to have had. It is vital for the Israeli public and for the stability of the wider region. Recent weeks have been a good start. From the moment the October attacks happened, many had the vision of the Munich Olympics massacre in their heads and its aftermath. That was when the Israeli intelligence agency, Mossad, was tasked with hunting down and killing the ringleaders of the massacre, wherever they were. The operation, popularized by Steven Spielberg's film Munich, was not just successful in killing the masterminds of that plot, it was successful in deterring others from committing a repeat. In the past weeks, Israel has adopted this strategy with stunning success. In the middle of July, the Israelis carried out a strike in Gaza, in which they have now confirmed took out Hamas military chief, Mohammed Deif, the terrorist number 2. Then at the weekend, Iran's proxy army in southern Lebanon, Hezbollah, fired a missile into a playground in northern Israel that killed 12 children from the Druze community as they were playing football. Israel's response came swiftly. Israel launched a precision airstrike into the Lebanese capital of Beirut. The strike killed Fouad Shukr, one of Hezbollah's most senior commanders, who was also wanted by the authorities in the US for his involvement in the killing of 241 US military personnel in the Marine barracks bombing that the terrorists carried out in 1983. The shorter timer of Israeli justice ended up helping the long arm of American justice. Then, just 10 hours later, there was the explosion in Tehran which took out the political leader of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh. He was in Tehran to participate in the swearing-in of the new Iranian president, a man whose predecessor fell out of the sky in a helicopter some weeks ago. Although the BBC had been careful to refer to Haniyeh as a moderate and pragmatic, he was no such thing. He was one of the most senior figures in a brutal terrorist group which has no meaningful distinction between its military and political wings. After October 7th, it was vital that he was targeted. Now it has emerged that his killing was not the result of a targeted airstrike, but came from a bomb placed months ago in the apartment in the Iranian government compound that he was being hosted in. The Israelis have not taken responsibility for the hit in Tehran, but it re-establishes Israel's deterrence capabilities. Every one of the troubles affecting Israel at present originate in Iran. It is the revolutionary Islamic government there that has made the eradication of Israel a priority. It is Iran that it is ensuring that Israel is fighting a war on, effectively, 7 fronts. Not just against Hamas in Gaza or Hezbollah in Iran, but against the Iranian-backed Houthis in Yemen, among many others. After the October 7th attacks, again funded and backed by Iran, the regime in Tehran looked on with satisfaction as the world turned not on Hamas, but on Israel. The regime delighted in the useful idiots and others in the West turning against Israel rather than on the terrorists of Hamas. The Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei even expressed his public gratitude and support for students at American universities who are bringing their institutions to a halt as a protest against Israel's right to defend itself. What a mad world. How much happier they must have been in recent months as the preposterous nobodies at the so-called International Criminal Court declared that they were seeking arrest warrants for the democratically elected Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu, and his defense minister. Oh, and also for 2 of the leaders of Hamas. Since the ICC has no evidence of war crimes committed by the Israelis, it has announced that the warrants ahead of any investigation. A novel concept, to announce an arrest and then start looking for a crime. Though it is hardly surprising given the illegitimate nature of the court and the wild politicization that has predictably occurred. And by the way, if you look at the panel of experts and legal influences that were advising the ICC, they all were deeply hostile to Israel, deeply biased. And so it simply is a farce. So where would the rest of Israel's allies be now? In the US, Kamala Harris is busily trying to boast to her base that she is being tough on the Israelis. There's little evidence that she intends to be equally tough on Iran. And in the UK, our new government has not only acceded to the preposterous ICC, and good luck David Lammy when your time for arrest comes, it has also repeatedly criticised the Israeli government. It is the wrong time to do either. For the sake of peace in the Middle East, it is necessary for Iran's terrorist chiefs to be hunted down. And if the British government wants to do something meaningful for once, perhaps instead of grandstanding, it could finally round up the regime operatives here in Britain. I wonder if they will. So this is really great analysis from Douglas, and it points to the fact that what Israel must absolutely maintain is escalation dominance. They must maintain security dominance and military dominance. If you come to attack us, we're going to escalate. And even before you attack us, we need to neutralize those threats. There's everything that is moral about that. And for anyone in the Western world, whether it's Harris or others, or Biden or others, that somehow think that it's wrong to do that because it risks escalating things, I'm sorry, don't point hundreds of thousands of rockets at Israel. Don't fund terrorism that kills Jews and that calls for the killing of Jews. Israel has every right to do what she's doing, and the world is better off without Ismail Haniyeh. Hi, thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.